Hey guys, well today I'm going to tell you about the accident, and I'm going to be honest, I have came up with every single excuse there is known to man to not have to film this video. I don't know, I don't know, I've never told this story before. I mean, like, I've told bits and pieces of it, but to actually go into detail and everything like that, and the only person that I talked to about it with is my boyfriend, and I really wanted him to be here when I did film this video, but it's kind of getting down to the point where it's like I have to because I'm running out of time. But yeah, so I'm going to apologize now if I get emotional or anything. And also, I just want you guys to know I really don't remember, like, a lot. I was in and out of consciousness pretty much the whole time. So, yeah. I think it was, what day was it? I think it was a Wednesday night? Wednesday or Thursday night. I don't remember, but it was bike night at Quaker Steak in Valley View. I've never been there. Dave has been there. Like, I think he went maybe 3 or 4 times before I went with him, and something always stopped me. That's what was the crazy thing, is because I was always never able to go, whether it was work or, you know, the weather or, you know, whatever. It was always just something. And finally, the day that we were going to go, there was actually supposed to be this storm or something, so we went to another restaurant before that just to wait it out and see what happened. It was me, Dave, and our other friend. I'm not going to put names or anything into this, just to let you know, for just, you know, their privacy. But, yeah, so we went to this other restaurant and we were hanging out there for a while, and it ended up clearing and completely past us, and we didn't even get hit. So we decided, well, let's just go, you know, and I was so excited, you know, because it was, I've never been there. I've always wanted to go. I love riding and everything like that. So, you know, the weather was nice and we finally had the chance, and I was freaking out and I was just like so excited. So we went, and it takes about maybe an hour, I think, to get there from where we were. But, you know, riding is riding, and I really still love it. So it was a nice ride. And, oh yeah, and we had, Dave and I had helmets that, they were Bluetooth, so you could listen to music, you know, which was pretty cool. So I was listening to my music the whole way down, you know, it was a good ride. And then we get there, and oh my god, like, I've never seen so many motorcycles in my life, like, seriously. Like, it was in this big plaza, like, I think there was a movie theater, and Quaker Steak was in, like, the parking lot, and, like, there was just so many, like, it was huge, and there's just so many bikes. It was, like, filling the entire parking lot. I'll put in the picture I took so you guys can see, and that wasn't even half of it. But, yeah, and they had this huge area. They had a band that was playing, and, like, pretty much a big section of the parking lot was, like, closed in to where, you know, you were allowed to drink in that area or whatever, and they had, like, tents set up around the whole, like, perimeter of it, and there was a bunch of, like, people. They were selling clothes and, you know, motorcycle gear, and it was really cool. And oh, and purses too. Oh my god. Yeah, they were selling purses. And so trying to take all of that in, you know, it was awesome. And I remember listening to music and, you know, just hanging out and walking around looking at stuff, and it was a lot of fun. And then actually I ended up seeing one of my friends that I used to work with forever ago. So that was kind of cool. You know, I got to see somebody that I knew. And we met this one guy and his girlfriend, and we hung out with them for the rest of the night pretty much. It was, you know, we had a great time. I still remember that night. It was one of like the best times I've ever had. You know what I mean? And even though it had a bad outcome, it was still one of like the best times I ever had. And so I think it was around maybe, I'd say like 11 maybe, I'd say. And we decided to head home. Maybe it was like 10:30, 11. So we decided to head home. You know, it was getting late and it was still like a long ride back. So I remember driving home and we were on 271, and I remember the car passing us. And I remember thinking to myself, like, what's his, you know, like, what's their deal? Why are they going so fast? And what had happened was we were coming up to an exit, and the car passed us because they were going to miss the exit. So they ended up cutting us off. And Dave and I both don't know really how, like, what he says. He just remembers going forward. Like, he remembers, like, the bike just turning and going, like, you know what I mean, like, kind of falling. And so that's what he says. He just remembers going down. The car passed us, and then after that he just remembers, you know, pretty much going down, because the bike leaned, but it turned, like, in a way, like, I don't know how you can explain it. Like, he went this way, but the back went, like, up, and of course I was sitting on the back. So I got launched, like, literally catapulted down the middle of the freeway. And Dave went to the right, almost hitting he didn't hit the guardrail, or, like, you know, the rail that they have on the side of the freeway, but he slid on he said he slid on his hands and knees, like, you know, with his hands down, like that, all the way down. And then, he said he immediately, like, just got up and, you know, was looking for me. And, I was all the way, like, I was pretty far away, actually. And I was in the middle of the freeway, cars were coming, and Dave said he sprinted all the way, like, just, he booked it to pull me off the freeway. So, after he got to me, he said he, you know, he tried not to move me. He grabbed me by my jacket, and I was laying on my back, and he pulled me off and got me to the side. And then what I remember, I can still feel that feeling of being in the air. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense, but I still have that feeling, or know what it feels like, and I can still hear the sound my helmet made when I hit the ground, and, like, just me landing. And I remember I was I skidded, like, I must have, I don't know how I landed or anything, but I was, the whole half of my helmet was, like, gone. It was, like, literally, like, shaved down. So I must have been, I landed on maybe, like, you know, my side or something, and then slid, like, a little bit further, because I remember I came to, and I remember, like, I was laying on my back, and I saw my leg. My leg was, like, up, just, you know, it was bent, my knee was bent, like, just, like, you know, how it, like, a normal knee bending, yeah, okay, and, yeah, so I remember seeing my leg, and then I remember, though, on that freeway, there's a brick wall, like, down the side. And I was thinking to myself, like, the first thing I said in my head when I saw that at this point was, like, God damn it, you know? And, I don't know, I just remember that. Like, I remember saying that to myself. Like, I was so mad. I was like, really? You know? And, so after that, I saw this for, like, you know, I was able to just see those two things. And, then I was back out. And I remember kind of Dave talking to me, like, a little bit. He was telling me, like, you know, I heard him say my name a lot. He said that he, had me on the side of the road, and he had my head between his legs, trying to keep it stable, for, you know, not move it, and, he said I was trying to stand up, and he said my leg was all messed up, like, you could tell it was messed up. And he said they called 911, and I guess Dave said that I was trying to stand up, and I kept saying I was okay, you know, like, no, I'm fine, I gotta stand up, and, I guess he was begging me to just stay where I was. Before the ambulance got there, two people stopped, one woman and, another man, and he was an EMT, so he was able to assess me before the ambulance got there. I guess he had just been getting off of work and, you know, saw what happened and stopped, and, you know, so, like, the ambulance already knew, like, he was talking to them, you know, the people, when they called 911, and, he was telling them, you know, everything, my pulse and everything, so when the ambulance got there, they really didn't have to do anything, they just had to get me to the hospital. Also, one of our friends, she had just gotten off of work, and she saw the motorcycle, and she turned around, and she stopped too, and she was just getting off work. She was a nurse, and she got to ride with me in the ambulance. And I guess, you know, when Dave was talking to the police officer, he, explained what happened, and then he asked, is she going to be okay? And the cop said, you know, I don't know. But Dave said he just had that look on his face, you know, like he's seen this before, and, you know, the outcome usually wasn't the greatest. So, you know, I guess this woman, I don't know, the other woman that stopped was saying that we were going too fast or something. And I'm being picked up off the freeway. You know, we don't know what's wrong with me. We don't have, you know, I'm bleeding and they don't know from where. And Dave says he still can't, you know, he can't get the picture out of his head, you know, seeing me laying there. And, I don't know. I guess she was just there to complain or something, or whatever. I don't know. I really don't care, to be honest with you, I guess. But getting into the ambulance, you know, and I feel really bad, so I'm just going to apologize to them right now because I was being really mean. And, you know, when you're in and out of consciousness, and I don't like being messed with in the first place, so I kind of didn't know what was going on. I remember, you know, the way that they were talking to me, you know, like just, you know, they have to know what's going on, so they're trying to keep me awake, and they're just talking to me like really fast. And I remember I kept telling them I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, because they strapped me down, and, you know, and it was like, I kept saying I needed water or something. I think I was having an anxiety attack just because, like, the way that they were talking to me, you know, and I could feel and hear the, like, urgency and the, like, you know, I guess I just got the vibe that something was really, really wrong, like, and, but my one friend that had just got off work, she got to ride in the ambulance with me, and she was taking those swabs that you use to, you know, clean out your mouth, and she was dipping them into a cup of water and, like, you know, letting me be able to suck the water off the little sponge. And I remember they kept asking me my name, and they're like, how do you spell your last name? And they asked me this twice. And I was just like, I remember saying to him, I was like, you just asked me that 2 seconds ago. It was funny, but they were just trying to keep me awake. I feel bad now. So if you guys are watching this, I'm sorry, and thank you for everything.